We're here and still somehow monetized despite a massive campaign from all of the fans of The Acolyte, all the Disney Star Wars fans out there who just can't stand that there's some people out there that might not like their show. So what did they do? They started an enormous attack campaign, a targeted attack campaign against channels like mine, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Gary from Nerdrotic, and they tweeted all day about it for 24 hours. It was an onslaught of these people, pronouns in their bios, flags in their names, hashtag renew the Acolyte tweets galore. And they were desperately telling YouTube, hey, you've got a problem. You've got a problem with these people. They're bigots and racist because they don't like this show. They haven't liked any of these Disney Star Wars things. You need to ban them from your platform, or at the very least, you need to demonetize their channels. I'm sure that for 24 hours, their lives were probably feeling okay. They probably felt okay about themselves from the first time in a while. When they came out to their parents and told them they were gay, trans, whatever, that probably didn't go over very well. Crushing blow for them. But when they found a new show that was very representative of them that they could love, they were probably feeling great about The Acolyte, and that got canceled too. They tried to get The Acolyte renewed. That failed. They needed something in their lives worth living for, and that would be to destroy my channel, along with a handful of others. That happiness was very short-lived, wasn't it? Very short-lived for them. Team YouTube came through in the clutch. I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about that today, right? I woke up, what was this, September 4th. Was that a Wednesday when this happened? A Wednesday. Having my morning coffee, sitting down, looking for videos to do, stuff like that. And we start seeing these pictures making the rounds. I had a couple people DM them to me, things like that. Now on my actual account, more than half the people that were talking about this have been blocked. Interesting. But a lot of statements like this, all with very similar wording. Hey, at Team YouTube, do you really want to be known for propping up the harassment economy? This isn't genuine content. It's monetized hatred, and it's been happening for years. Please demonetize Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinel, a.k.a. RK Outpost. Hate should not pay the bills. I'll renew the Acolyte in your profile. That's weird. At Team YouTube, demonetize Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinel. Taz, W. Ren. There you go. I pretend to know what I'm doing. Book shows standing. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, things like that. Congratulations. When hate speech and harassment are being rewarded at Team YouTube, it's past time you realize your money are going into the wrong things. Your money is going in the wrong things. Stop funding Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost. Time to fix things. Hey, at Team YouTube, demonetize Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinel. Hey, it's this is exactly the audience that the Acolyte was made for. You can see they're standing in their profile picture. You've got a couple interesting flags there. She, they, not really surprised. Hashtag renew the Acolyte, hashtag save the Acolyte, hashtag Oshamir. And when I talk about the reason for the timing of this attack campaign, it's all about the Acolyte being canceled. That was like the last straw for a lot of these people. Now, for some of them, they've been working to try to get us demonetized for years now. And I do mean years. A lot of these people spend a lot of time reporting all our videos, reporting on our live streams, all this shit. It's true. Like, this is actively happening. And it has been happening for a long, long time. Over 3 years, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But this was the impetus behind it. It was the Acolyte. It was the response to the Acolyte. It was the cancellation of the Acolyte. And that is why they've said we need to put our foot down. No more hatred on YouTube. It's time for at Team YouTube to take action and no longer allow hate to be monetized. Hey, I like Nightwing. It's time for you to be part of the solution at Team YouTube. While you would continue to allow these channels to be monetized, you're incentivizing hatred and racism. YouTuber invited to Lucasfilm takes pictures with Leslie Headland, Dave Filoni. Interesting. Hate should never make anyone money. But for nearly a decade, YouTubers RK Outpost, Nerdrotic, and Geeks and Gamers have done just that. I've only been on YouTube for 5 years, okay? Some of these guys have been on long. I only been here 5 years. So slow your roll with nearly a decade. That's a big round up right there. This goes against your policies. And it helped to contribute to a toxic environment in the Star Wars fandom. We need to do better at Team YouTube. Interesting. What about this one? Someone's failed clone's daughter / granddaughter. Got it? If you're sick of feeling unsafe in the Star Wars fandom and tired of the fandom menace in general, bro, the fandom menace, I feel like I have not actually heard that name used by anyone other than like Disney Star Wars fans who can't cope with the failure of their shows in like 3 or 4 years, if I'm being honest. Where was I? Didn't even at Team YouTube properly. Jesus. With the above images and asked them to honor their own terms and conditions and demonetize Nerdrotic, Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost, and Geeks and Gamers. This goes for Rings of Power fans, Marvel fans, any fandom spaces that have been affected by these hate mongers. Report, report, report. Alden Diaz. Oh, Alden. I think also a YouTuber. I think it's always been about people appropriating communities for money because bigotry sells. It's always been malignant insecurity, running wild and festering on a harmful level. These pop culture grifts are a pipeline to much worse. And at Team YouTube has a responsibility to step up. Jacob, I think a YouTuber as well. A lot of Disney Star Wars friendly YouTubers. A lot of people have had interviews and have even met people associated with the Acolyte, with the production of the Acolyte. They're involved in this. All a very targeted, coordinated attempt, an attack full of lies, full of false flagging, but a very coordinated attempt. It's absolutely fine to dislike a certain character, particular story. However, when that hate is mainly rooted in blatant racism, sexism, ableism, or any other form of bigotry, that's when it needs to be addressed and subsequently handled. I am not going to assume what he said in the show more. That'll take me away from my page, so I don't want to click on that right now. Hey, at Team YouTube. Hey, this guy's excited for Skeleton Crew. I hope Skeleton Crew is great, bro. I really hope that it's great. Democratic Socialist. Hey, at Team YouTube, we have a problem. More accurately, you have a problem. No, you guys have the problem. And that is a hate and harassment for sale industry you've allowed to crop up on your website for too long. Hashtag Star Wars fandom has been under attack by the lowest elements of YouTube. The lowest elements. It's a weird phrase. No more. It's time for Team YouTube to finally take action and hold the channels accountable. Hashtag stop monetizing hate. Mads, a Ray fan. Hello. Hate at Team YouTube. Hate, harassment, and racism shouldn't be monetized. Hate on a platform like YouTube very quickly outgrows the original video and permeates society, and accounts like Geeks and Gamers is actively doing so. The worst parts of fandom have been allowed to, you need an extra O in there, sweetheart, much power and influence for too long, causing very tangible harm to a lot of very real people. What are we talking about now? Very tangible harm. In what way? What's the tangible harm that's been done to a lot of very real people? Because you're mad that people don't like your show? Because no one watched your show? A lot of very real people. Okay. If terms of service can't be applied to protect vulnerable communities, then what are they for at Team YouTube? No one should be making a living off spreading hate and vitriol. At Team YouTube, please demonetize hate accounts. These people are making money on your platform off Chimere's slut. That's pretty funny. These people are making money on your platform off spreading lies and hate. Harassment should have no place on any platform. Please uphold your policies. And immediately demonetize Geeks and Gamers Nerdrotic and Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost. You know, I'm a little triggered. They didn't capitalize my name. I identify as a proper noun. My name is a proper noun. I feel like you should capitalize that. It's very offensive to people when you don't properly, capitalize their name, things like that, cause very real harm. At Team YouTube, it's time we demonetize people like Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinel, etc. Nobody should be making money off bigotry. And it goes on and on and on, right? You guys saw some of this. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these posts with this all tied into it. The best way, in my opinion, to take action, is a very strongly worded letter with resources and references. They will take you so fucking seriously if you do this. Right? That it feels like that was screenshot. That's not a great one. Can we get a clearer one? That one's much clearer. It was a bad screenshot of that one. Dear Team YouTube, last week, actor Amanda Stenberg, they posted candid comments on Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol that she has received since leading the cast of The Acolyte, the latest edition of the Star Wars universe. Stenberg's experience is not new. In fact, this known tactic initially provoked by Breitbart news editor Milo Yiannopoulos. Yes, Milo Yiannopoulos was the first one to ever not like a movie. I agree. I've always said that, that it wasn't until Milo Yiannopoulos, who has not been relevant in years, it wasn't until Milo Yiannopoulos that people started thinking, there's some movies out there that really suck. Thank you to Milo Yiannopoulos for being the first person. He's really a trailblazer when it comes to that. He was probably the first person who said Ghostbusters 2016 sucked too. Truly groundbreaking. Who aggressively targeted Ghostbusters actor Leslie Jones under the guise of film criticism. After prolonged insults against her Ghostbusters character result in harassment against Jones on Twitter, Yiannopoulos claimed Jones was, quote, playing the victim when she called for action against the harassment. The aggressive gaslighting of Jones' experience resulted in Yiannopoulos being banned on Twitter. 8 years later, Yiannopoulos' playbook against marginalized actors has burgeoned into a multi-million-dollar business on YouTube. Let's slow your roll. Multi-million-dollar. I don't know what some of these other channels are making. Do not put mine into the multi-million category, please. I just had to do my taxes, and I could promise you it's not that. 8 years later, I said that, which has been permitted to develop unchecked with the help of YouTube's partner program. The playbook's biggest target, Star Wars. Then a list of, got to do this call to action. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. All the bad things I've ever said about Mark Hamill or about the treatment of Luke Skywalker, all the bad things I ever said about someone like, Ewan McGregor in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and how fucking awful it was and the terrible choices they had his character make. All that's fine. But if you say those same things about a black woman, you can't get away with that. You can't get away with that, okay? The facts. I'm just going to be honest. If you're looking for the facts and you're trying to be like, wow, look at Geeks and Gamers, look at the horrific things they've done, you could probably come up with something better than in 2018, Jeremy called Kelly Marie Tran's character an awful, horrible, terrible character. That's what the facts are for Geeks and Gamers. What are the facts for me? Geeks and Gamers championed RK Outpost. 319,000 subscribers. We need to update that, ladies and gentlemen. What are we at now? We at 322? Just a couple days after that, we at 322, baby. Thank you for helping grow my channel, Disney Star Wars fans. Disney Star Wars has helped grow my channel by putting out dog shit content. But thank you, Disney Star Wars fans. This is now obsolete. You can't put this in the facts column anymore. A channel that frequently targets marginalized actors, including Moses Ingram, a Black American cast member of the TV series Kenobi. Days before Ingram called out racist backlash against her on Instagram, RK Outpost called Ingram a lunatic who can do nothing other than play the victim. I've said a lot of mean shit before, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty brutal at times, often with a tinge of humor involved. That's what you're going to write there? I called her a lunatic and said she can't do anything other than play the victim. This is what these people think are demonetizable offenses. How do you respond to something like that? I called someone a lunatic and said that they play the victim. Oh my gosh. The fuck, dude? And RK Apples has recently referred to Ingram's Kenobi character Reva as dumb and retarded. At least that's actually something that I suppose could be viewed as mean, right? Yeah, I called the character dumb and retarded. Amandla is the current target of this YouTube-based operation. Oh, and basically the only problem with Gary is that he allows us on his channel, apparently. Amandla is the current target of this YouTube-based operation. Together, Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Neurotic have led the charge against Amandla even before the release of The Acolyte. Now, they have a lot of things that people have called Amandla. I don't know exactly who to attribute some of these quotes to. Vapid and narcissistic, the adult pretender, dumb, and a half-black bitch for defending herself against racism. These channels gaslit Amandla by claiming she's playing the victim card, with RK Outpost proclaiming you've never been oppressed in your goddamn life, you bitch. Now, of course, this was in response to Amandla Stenberg attacking Star Wars fans and labeling them racist after The Acolyte got so much backlash. And I was kind of pointing out that Amandla Stenberg, the idea that she somehow has like faced oppression, she grew up in she's been like a child actress for a very, very long time. The idea that she has anything in common with the oppressed people of this country, it's really insane. That one is attributed to me. These YouTubers also use racist dog whistles. You couldn't hear it, but it was a dog whistle, including the angry black woman stereotype. Maybe they truly are dog whistles, because nobody can fucking hear these things that you're actually claiming that should get us demonetized. No one's heard them. They don't exist. Action required. The Star Wars fandom refuses to watch another marginalized actor or fan be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTubers as a result of YouTube's inaction, which has transformed hate into a lucrative career path. It is concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors on other social media platforms has historically resulted in platform bans, whereas the same behavior made provocateurs millionaires on YouTube. Hey, stop misidentifying me, all right? Don't throw me in that millionaire category. This should be highly concerning. We understand YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Neurotic is not opinion or criticism. It's prolonged targeted harassment against women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. Thank you. May the force be with you. And I love in your attack campaign meme that you sent out to everybody that had everyone launch it at the same exact time in a targeted, harassing manner. I love that you put references. Obviously, you guys are still here in the chat. You're still sending super chats. I guess YouTube didn't get the message. I'm sure that YouTube probably just didn't hear them, right? That YouTube probably just hasn't got around to looking into it. That's probably right, yeah? Or maybe not. Rewriting Ripley, who there's another story surrounding these people that goes back 3.5 years. Rewriting Ripley were some of the people behind this campaign. Clearly, that's who was behind this shit. Some of the wording is exactly the same. Their insistence that what we're doing is against terms of service or is hateful or bigoted or whatever. Same shit. Coming from the same group of people. You know why they were mad originally? Because the sequel trilogy was a flop and a failure. And they're Raylos. Now they're getting on this campaign for The Acolyte because The Acolyte failed miserably and they're upset that people didn't like The Acolyte. So now they're coming back with the same shit. They put together another highly edited video featuring Milo Yiannopoulos for some fucking reason, trying to connect him to us. They wanted to follow up on this, right? Hello at Team YouTube. The Star Wars community would at the very least appreciate a formal response or update in regards to our well-documented, well, that is an opinion that you have. Just like my opinion that The Acolyte is shit is my opinion. Your opinion is that it's been well-documented. And pressing concerns about YouTubers pushing prolonged harassment on your platform. How do we think that went for them? Thanks for reaching out from at Team YouTube. Just heard back and confirmed that this content is not violative and will remain up. Totally understand you may not agree with this decision, but we reviewed this video very carefully against our policies. Damn, bro. That's rough. That's rough. All this time editing this stuff together, getting your fucking meme, your cancel culture meme out there, distributed to all your little fucking people that wanted to play a part in it, that wanted to promote it, including Star Wars YouTubers. And this is what happens. Now, Team YouTube replied to a bunch of different people on there. And obviously, anytime Team YouTube is tagged, oftentimes you get a bot response that says, hey, thank you. We want to keep YouTube safe for everyone. Have you reported the videos yet? hundreds and hundreds of these fucks had meltdowns. Yes, I've reported all their videos. I report them every day. I report them all the time. You've done nothing. They get the same response. And it's the truth. These people report our channels all the fucking time. They report our live streams all the time. They report our videos all the time. They admitted it. That's my favorite part of this attack campaign from them. All of them are admitting just how hard they have tried to get us canceled and taken off the platform over and over and over and over again. But no, it's not against terms of service. Emilio says the dick fell out of their mouth when they read the YouTube response. Yes. For the men, yes. For the women that are involved in this, I don't know how many of the women are sucking dicks that are involved in this this cancel campaign. How did that work out? How did people react to that? We're going to get to this in a second. Shout out Perry Chan, who's in the chat. Not surprising, is it? YouTube doesn't care about their terms of service. Just the money. Yeah, I make YouTube so much money. You know, the RK Outpost channel, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not even in the top million subscribed channels on YouTube, right? But I'm just such a big difference. They have to keep me up. I make them so much fucking money. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And that tells you where these people's minds are at. There's probably 100,000 Minecraft YouTubers that have bigger channels than mine. Thanks for the casual, all lowercase confirmation of your cowardice. See? All lowercase. That can be triggered. I got triggered when my name wasn't capitalized, right? I hope you all give yourself a round of applause in the @Team YouTube office today and then send an email to advertisers so they know it's okay to say half black bitch in the R's for @YouTube. I'm sorry, but these videos have been constantly reported. Oh, yeah, they have. This issue's gone way past that stage. Up until now, or it's time. Hold on. It's now up to actual people in charge to make the right decision. Even bringing this issue up to you has opened folks up to more harassment. YouTube confirms it will not only allow targeted harassment in their videos, they'll continue to allow the creators of such content to profit off this insightful and abusive practice. It isn't about not agreeing with what they said. It's about what they said being harmful. So @Team YouTube content that clearly violates your terms of service and targets people for mass harassment will not be demonetized. Bro, it's so wild because you can watch I put out a lot of videos, sometimes about the same topic, right? Different news breaks on the Acolyte or something Amanda Senberg says, right? I make a lot of videos about these topics. This is what I do. I'm like a news channel from that perspective. So when things change, I talk about it. The idea, you can watch all my fucking videos. I don't think there's ever been a single time where I called on people to go to this person and tell them what you think about, tell them you hate this character. Go to this person's Instagram, do this. Go to this Twitter account and do this. Never. In fact, anytime I've ever spoken about that, and obviously I can't control all the people that are watching my channel, but anytime I have spoke about it, what do I say? I say the same thing that I'll say about all these people that I'm talking about today. I'll say the same thing about the YouTubers who are engaged in targeted harassment to try to get my channel demonetized, right? I'll say the very same thing. Don't go fight with these people. Don't go harass these people. Don't go report these people and try to get them taken down, because that's not what I want. I'm simply talking about the way I see things, my opinion on these shows, or talking about this story and how it's evolving or whatever. That's what I've said time and time again, and I'll continue to say that time and time again. The idea that I'm encouraging anybody to go over there and do something like that is just, quite frankly, bullshit. And it is bullshit. That's what Team YouTube determined. But my favorite one was this. People obviously were triggered by YouTube's response. This is an actual nerdrotic thumbnail, by the way. Perry Chan. Do you think that this should get someone demonetized? Blue Beetle. What's her fucking name from Family Guy? Consuelo or something. I don't even know what her name is. And a taco that's really more of a chalupa. The funniest part was this. Another one. This is the best part. I got a lot of Mexicans that are telling me they don't care or they find it funny. Interesting. Yeah, it's almost like people don't fucking care about it. It's almost like it's not a big deal. It's almost like it doesn't violate terms of service. It's almost like it shouldn't get you demonetized. It's almost like you freaks are living in a fucking world that the vast majority of people do not reside in. You have your own little clique, the Acolyte fans, the people that just want content that's focused on identity politics and representation and woke bullshit and is shipping friendly, all this shit. You're a small, insignificant group of people. You're very online. You're very active online. But in the grand scheme of things, just like we saw with the viewership numbers for the Acolyte, you are a very small portion of the audience. And the vast majority of people out there, they don't see things the same way you do. They can't imagine that if they put all the time together to edit this video and do this attack campaign, that YouTube's like, no, the channels are good. They can't believe it. Because to them, for some reason, if I say the exact same things about Mark Hamill that I say about Amanda Stenberg or Moses Ingram or something like that, it's okay to say it about Mark Hamill because he's a white dude. But it's not okay to say it about someone who has a different color skin or might be a different gender. I'm an equal opportunity criticizer, okay? I criticize a lot of shit. White people included. These people are living in a different world and they do not understand this shit. This is the same Rewriting Ripley group, right? Who wrote this massive story. Let's see, this is the one I'm looking for. A 71-minute read, by the way. This happened 3.5 years ago. This random podcast pops up and this article and this edited video from a group called Rewriting Ripley. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I want you to watch this, all right? Because this happened so long ago. There's a chance that you haven't seen it. This was their first failed attack campaign 3.5 years ago. Aided by an analysis of over 1 million tweets and 100,000 YouTube videos, this is the full story of alt-right radicalization in the Star Wars fandom. From designated white supremacist hate groups to YouTubers, this is how hate attacked the Star Wars sequel trilogy. And now they take the first fucking thing I've ever recorded in history and use it to paint a story. And I gotta say, I think that the Rewriting Ripley people, they are friends with a lot of people at Lucasfilm. They were exposed having ties to Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm employees initially boosted this tweet to try to get us canceled. They've also helped out with this most recent attack campaign. Some of you guys haven't seen this, but it's time to watch it. It's the story of how Ryan Kinel was radicalized. That really is what this is all about. The truth is, this is, and for you guys that know me in real life, I know there's a handful of people out there that know me in real life. The person I am on live streams is essentially the same exact fucking person I am in real life. It pisses Jeremy off when we go out to eat somewhere and I'm just fucking really loud and obnoxious and shit like that. My friends say, you got to stop yelling. You got to stop screaming. I'm like, this is who I fucking am. That's who I've always been. It's who I was in the military. Now, when I first started a YouTube channel, I had never recorded videos before. I didn't have any scripts. I was just like talking. And that was something I wasn't necessarily, I was comfortable talking in front of groups and giving presentations, but this whole YouTube thing was new to me, right? I had no idea. So I talked a little more softly and slowly because I honestly, I was not confident. I'd never done anything like this before. This is the story of me being radicalized.
Rabbit holes
see it.
that are very powerful and try to find which rabbit hole is the closest to your interest.
For me, once I started diving hard into some of these people's YouTube videos, you kind of get hooked.
Maybe they'll stop pushing this feminist agenda that has driven Star Wars into the ground.
We are going to talk more about Disney and their feminist agenda.
She has some weird...
So you can see how they're doing this, right? In my, that 30-minute fucking video I had that I first posted, basically talking about how I love Star Wars and hated the sequel trilogy, and I love the Star Wars expanded universe and stuff like that. And I'd said, and what I said was, you know, finally I found some people on YouTube that were thinking the same way I was about these stories, right? That was like basing what I said off that. And they go and they're trying to tell this story and connect us again to some very interesting things, including January 6th and Milo Yiannopoulos and Steve Bannon and things like that. It's very strange. I will say, I did see Steve Bannon in person one time. He walked by me at a Turning Point USA event. That's about the closest I've got to Steve Bannon. I know some people who work with him, though. They're cool.
Weird resentment towards the male fans of this franchise.
All-conquering female figure now is occluding this great myth of the hero.
Ray had randomly been amazing at everything. She was the ultimate Mary Sue.
We didn't acknowledge the presence of the ultimate Mary Sue.
Daisy Ridley, she got harassed, but she did something about gun control. So
last week,
and for the record, the people never really talk about this. The reason Daisy Ridley left social media was, I think it was in the aftermath of an event happening at a school that was not very good, right? I think she put out a post about gun control and she got kind of like obliterated over it. That was the original reason why she like deactivated her social media. Nothing to do with like Star Wars or whatever. It was a hot political take she had that she got a lot of criticism for. Jay's about to make an appearance. Oh, I thought he was talking about James Gunn being fired, but he's talking about Chuck Wendig.
About gun control. So
last week, author and writer Chuck Wendig was fired.
James Gunn fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
That's Jeremy's voice, by the way. I don't know what the fuck that is.
This is awesome.
Documented history. That's just randomly Jack Posobiec. That's just randomly Jack Posobiec tweeted about James Gunn, and Jeremy making a video about James Gunn. But there he is. Documented history of dozens of anti-white tweets.
They're claiming.
You can see, oh my God, he's got a beard and he's starting to get angrier now. Look at the radicalization of this young man.
That this was some sort of anti-white genocide.
I'm Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, and you're watching Ethan Van Sciver.
Brings me to Rose. Don't even get me started.
Cutting off the head.
Didn't even have the decency to fucking die.
She better die in the coma because she is a dumbass bitch.
Kelly.
Quartering. The fact they just like put that clip in there, right? It's pretty funny.
Marie Tran being chased off. Or she wasn't chased off. She chose.
Essentially, space Anita Sarkeesian. Nobody wants her on Earth. Nobody wants her in outer space.
And 5 years later, when Bannon wound up at Breitbart, he resolved to try and attract those people over to Breitbart because he thought they could be radicalized in a kind of populist nationalist way.
He follows this idea of the Breitbart doctrine, which is that if you want to change politics, you first have to change culture.
Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate your input.
Because politics flows from culture.
It's not just about Star Wars anymore. It's about all the pop culture that's being invaded.
The battle for Star Wars, the battle for culture.
And I would say that Ichibaka's title of this article is a little tame. She has a huge problem with white people.
Stop trying to...
It goes from me talking about Christina Ariel's like anti-white tweets that she had when she was announced as the host of the High Republic, right? That's what this is all about. Like, this is from 4 fucking years ago at this point. It goes from that to Proud Boys and January 6th for some reason.
Turn our cultural icons into your moralistic authoritarianism.
To be a part of that community and that group of people, it was really fun.
So there you go. That's the story of how I was just so radicalized. Now, anybody that actually knows me personally knows that I was not radical. I will put it that way. I don't talk about politics nearly as much as someone like Jeremy does, but I have some pretty strong beliefs. And I can guarantee you that none of these Star Wars YouTubers that had video or that had channels before me have any input on my political beliefs. I can guarantee you that. But this isn't really the channel to get into some of that. But this is who these people are, right? March 11th, 2021.
Actually trying.
That's when they started that attack. That is me. To be honest, like that point in time, I was probably in the best like cardiovascular shape of my fucking life. I was running a lot. I was doing half marathons and stuff like that. I was in. Like my resting heart rate was at like 43 beats per minute. I was in very good cardio shape back then. And no beard because I was in the Navy, so I couldn't grow a beard. Yeah, this is who these people are. And they just took one of the biggest losses you will ever fucking see. I'll say this before we move on to Super Chats. This is not over. They are not done. These people don't know when to quit. Well, maybe 41% of them do know when to quit, but A lot of them do not know when to quit. They're not going to stop here just because YouTube said, it's not against terms of service. You've reported these videos a million times and it's not against terms of service. It's not going to end. They're going to move on to the next way to attack. They're going to move on to the next thing, and they're going to try to go after something else because these people cannot stand that we're successful. They can't stand that so many people agree with us. And I think a lot of them do truly feel that we are somehow changing people's minds into thinking these things are bad, right? They think that we mind control you guys. Gary can't even start a fucking stream without the help of like 2 or 3 other people. You think he's the massive manipulator mind controlling the population? Have you listened to fucking Jeremy speak about shit? You think he is massively mind controlling folks out there? No, we're just people that happen to have opinions on stuff. And you know what? Sometimes people agree with those opinions. Sometimes people don't agree with those opinions. Sometimes we disagree with each other and we fight about it. How many times do you see me fight with Jeremy on live streams about some of the things he said that I think are fucking stupid? And I've called Jeremy way worse shit live than I've called people like Amanda Stenberg or Moses Ingram. Well, is that not prolonged targeted harassment? He streams with me, for God's sake. Like I said, it's not over. These people are going to continue to do this. It is only a matter of time till they launch their next attack. So I appreciate all you guys having our backs and continuing to support us.